Hi guys, happy Labor Day, and this is just a quick story about what just happened to me about an hour ago. I'm off today, just relaxing. I figured I would get up and I wanted to try out a new gun range that I'd never been to before. I won't name the name of the range, even though I probably should, because I think they're doing a crappy job running it, but it's about 40 minutes away from my house. I've never been there before. I went there because someone told me they had a good selection of used guns for sale, and I'm looking for a particular gun. I'm on a quest for it. But anyway, while I was there, I just brought a couple of 22s with me. M&P, Smith & Wesson M&P 22, and this 25-year-old New England firearm 22 I brought with me. So I just wanted to do some plinking and just with 22s today, just, messing around. I like to practice, by the way, with this New England firearm because it's got a really long grip, long trigger pull for a revolver, and I like to try shooting offhand with that a lot. And it's really cheap to shoot Centurion or whatever type of 22 ammo. Everything works good in there. But anyway, so what happened to me was, and why this video is called Shooting Range Dangers, is let's just say the place had what I call a couple of yokels in it. And it's not normally the type of place that I go to. Where I live, it's kind of a higher end area. Most of the shooting ranges that I go to, they have, normal people, nicer people, well-to-do, middle class, whatever. This one was a little bit less than that, I'm saying. Not putting them down, I'm just saying that's what it was. But anyway, I noticed, not typically type of people that I hang around with. Anyway, so I go to the shooting range, and when I go to a shooting range, I don't know about you, but I always look for what I call a safe shooting bay. I don't just go take whatever's open. I look at the people. Normally there's a glass window, you could see who's shooting in there, and I try to look and see what type of guns the person is shooting and just try to get a sense of the people. Because, I don't know, in the back of my mind, I always have that I could be standing next to a friggin' mental case, and here I'm focusing on trying to get a nice tight grouping with a 22, and the guy could be focusing on me. So I always look. So I normally choose a bay that is either all the way to the right or all the way to the left of me, of other people. So I try to skip people. So anyway, it was kind of busy today. Again, it's Labor Day, it's a holiday. A lot of people seem to be wanting to do what I wanted to do, which was shoot. So I went to the range. I took out my guns that I'm going to shoot, and when I go to the range, by the way, if I have 2 or 3 guns that I'm going to shoot, I take one out at a time. I shoot it, I make sure it's clear, and then I pack it away. Then I take out the next one. I don't lay out a whole bunch of guns. It gets confusing, and it's just not the way to do it. I see people on the range that will put a gun down like that, and or even worse, they'll put a gun down like this, and aim at the person next to you. And then if you question them, you say, hey, you got your gun pointing at me. They'll be like, oh, it's unloaded. And I say, if it's unloaded, you should rack the slide back, face it downrange, and that's it. Anyway, long story short, don't want to go on and on, but I was shooting, minding my own business. The lane to my right was empty, and then all of a sudden, it was not empty. I look, and there's 2 guys that came over, and they started setting up, and they just look like normal, regular people. But the one thing, the guy immediately, as soon as he got there, and again, you have to be aware of your surroundings. As soon as he got there, I don't know what type of gun it was. It looked like a high point, to be honest with you. I don't know. But as soon as he got there, he actually, he took his gun out of his bag, and then he started doing like one of these. And I am to the left of him. So he starts doing that. So I step back out of the line of fire of this person, and I gave him a look, and I gave his friend a look, and I guess they looked at me back again, and I didn't say anything right then and there. I saw the gun was empty. He just got there and he started doing it, but when you're checking a gun, it should be this way, downrange, finger off the trigger, pointing in a safe direction, right? So, long story short, I start shooting again. The next guy comes up, he does exactly the same thing. And he starts clearing the gun this way. Now, I don't know, first off, it doesn't make any sense, because if you're doing it this way, you can't really see in the chamber. If you do it that way, you can see in the chamber. But if you're doing it this way, what are you clearing? You can't really see if there's a round stuck in there. So the second guy did it, and I stepped back again, but this time I had to say something. And I waited till they were done shooting, and I told them how they're repeatedly pointing their guns at me. And the guy said, they're empty. And I don't know, maybe I have a little bit of a temper. I tend to go from 0 to 100 really quickly. And I said, you know, I don't know that it's empty, and I don't really give a, I won't curse on the video. I did a couple of words. I says, don't point the gun at me again. And the guy says, dude, you need to chill out. I says, well, I tend not to chill out when someone's pointing a gun at me. I don't know you. I don't trust you. I don't know your gun handling abilities. They don't seem that good to me right away. So when I said that, they got a little confrontational. But the bottom line is, the last place you want to get into an argument or a fight is at a gun range, right? It's now, you know, people started looking over. So, you know what I said? I said, you know what? I'm never coming back to this place. It's not, again, it's far away from where I am anyway. And I said, let me just be the bigger man, which I don't always do, but let me be the bigger man and walk away. So I packed up my shit. I left with some nice parting words to the guys, and that's it. But the part that really bothered me, besides the fact that they kept, you know, aiming their gun at me, was the fact that when I went out and I paid, you know, the guy at the counter, maybe again, it's Labor Day, so I don't know, it's not the owner, maybe they're short-staffed, I don't know, no one wants to work on a holiday, I guess, but the guy at the counter, I mentioned what happened, and he goes, oh, really? That's surprising, because they're regulars. And I'm like, if they're regulars, they should be a little better, you know, in their gun handling and gun safety procedures. And the guy says, well, you know, who knows? And then he made a comment like, I'm not a regular. And I'm like, no, I told you, I've come here, first time here. I said that when I was checking in. I gave him my permit, and he wrote it down. And I said, this is my first time here. And so I don't know, maybe it's one of those things. They don't like strangers. Maybe they don't want to build their business because, you know, which, big mistake, because I buy a lot of guns, and if they would have had some stuff that was good, I might have been their instantaneous best customer. So stupid as far as business goes, but that's another story. Anyway, I told him what happened, and he goes, well, obviously nothing happened. You know, he made a joke. You're not bleeding. And I said, you know, dude, I don't think it's funny. I don't like guns pointed at me. And I says, I think you should, you know, do something about it. You should go at least warn them. And he said, well, again, I'm not going to do that because they're regulars. So that's the bottom line. I should really say the name of the place, but I'm not going to say it right now. But I'll certainly never go back to that friggin' place. And, you know, when I left, I sat in my car for a minute and I contemplated it. And I just thought about, I said, hey, I'll make a video on this because, hey, I could have got shot in my right side or the right side of my head, you know, by these two morons that were playing with their crappy gun. So I wonder if this happens to anyone else at ranges. This is not the first time I've been muzzled with the gun. It happened once in a gun store. You know, some old man had a Smith & Wesson bodyguard, and he was with another old guy, and he kept racking it and aiming it at me, and I was to the left of him on the counter, and I said, sir, you know, he was an older guy. I said, sir, you shouldn't point the gun at anything you're not willing to shoot. And he said, well, I just got it from the salesman, so I'm sure it's unloaded. And I said, well, you know, it's still not what you do. And it so happened I actually had a Smith & Wesson bodyguard. I still have it. I had it in my waist. And because it got a little heated with this old guy, I'm a very respectful person to people. I said, sir, you have to be careful because even though your gun is unloaded, if you point it at someone else, I don't know, maybe they have a loaded gun or the same gun as you, and maybe they won't be too happy about you pointing a gun at them. So I'm just, I don't know, I try to teach people, I guess, but if I tell you you muzzled me with the gun at a gun range, your next word should be, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm a moron, I'll never do it again. It shouldn't be any kind of trying to rationalize with me about why you did it, the gun was unloaded, the safety was on, any bullshit like that. It should be, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, and that's the end of it. Then I won't make an issue out of it. But if you try to say it was unloaded, this and that, or you're the worker there and you say they're regular customers, who gives a shit if they're regular customers? I mean, that's stupid. Again, if you're a regular customer, you should know the rules of the firing range. And that's it. The other thing is, I notice like a lot of ranges now are installing video surveillance systems, which I'm a big fan of, because a lot of dummies go to shooting range, and I think that every shooting range should have a camera system. You could buy a cheap camera system now at Costco's for $1,000, $2,000, and certainly if you have a business, you should certainly have that. I'm not advocating that small businesses have to spend money unnecessarily, but I don't know, in a firearms-related business, probably a good idea. I have surveillance systems in all my businesses, and I think it's a great idea. But that's it. So almost basically got shot if the morons would have, pulled the trigger next to me today. And so I didn't really have a good shooting experience, but I did shoot this little M&P, and I also did shoot this New England firearm, which is a gun I got many years ago. Looks like a starter pistol, but it's a fun little gun. I think I paid like $75 for that about 25 years ago. And I've shot, I don't know how many thousands of rounds, it still looks brand new. So some cheap guns are worth it. And again, it's a good practice gun for working on your double action trigger pull. But that's it. Thanks for listening to my rambling, but that's it. All right, happy Labor Day. I hope everyone stays safe, and if you like this video, please subscribe, check like or thumbs up or whatever the heck it is, and that's it. All right, bye.